Good afternoon and welcome to Pan-African News on Pan-African Television with me, Maud, Anane, Nate. We're streaming live on Facebook at Pan-African Television, and a very big thank you to our 48 neighboring countries watching from far and near. Now to our top stories. The La Traditional Council chart a warpath with the military over alleged encroachment of Lastu lands. The council has threatened a face-off with the military if they do not stay off the land. We will bring you a special report on the current state of the Tema Motorway. Now, resident of Panama behind Paloma Hotel raised red flags ahead of the raining season. We will tell you why shortly. As Ghana to add value to cocoa production. This and many other stories, including sport, international from our international partners, and entertainment coming up shortly in the next 1 hour. Now the news in detail. The La Traditional Council has called on government to prevent the military from further encroachment on the Lastu lands. The council says it will use all legitimate means to protect their lands. Spokesperson of Coalition of La Associations, Jeffrey Tete, issued the alert on Hot News hosted by David Ato Tukuno.
Started expanding on their own because they saw the land was just there. So they started creating structures on the land, and they kept pushing and pushing. Today, as we speak, from the 23.7 acres, the military is occupying over 3,000 acres, most of which has not been properly acquired.
Can you give us the demarcations for the almost 3,000?
Okay, so
first it was Bema Camp.
It was Gifford Camp.
Gifford Camp. Now Bema Camp. So now where have they extended to?
Okay, so
allegedly.
Yes. Now you look at the frontage of the Bema Camp. Okay, it starts from, let's say, for the Air Force base, it was part of the aerodrome acquisition.
Right.
Okay. Now you have from the new interchange, where you have that road passing through.
Which of the interchanges?
The one, that entire stretch. Now it eats deep through the bushes and goes all the way to a place we call Plecho, and that's where the controversy is now. Now Plecho is, or let me say, the military cemetery, the new military cemetery, forms part of the Plecho lands we are talking about, and that is immediately after a new estate called the Chain Homes. So the military cemetery starts from there, and there's a roundabout around that place, all the way to the Major Mahama roundabout,
right,
and then it turns back towards the Air Force base.
Right.
This is the land in question
currently.
Okay, so what there is now is that our people started agitating the past couple of years that most of the lands that are virgin lands behind the Bema camp belongs to the La people, and looking at the kind of developments within La, the whole place has become choked. When you stand from afar and you look at it, it appears we live in a slum. Okay, so we need to expand. And so we started asking that our people move towards that end so that we can open up space. That was when the military decided that they are not going to allow the La people to enter their own land. We have a deity there called Plecho. Everybody knows about that. The military destroyed the Plecho deity. Most of our aged folks used to farm there. Today, we don't have a lot of farmers, but we still have people from La who have their farms there because they are family lands. And
where is the Plecho?
A Plecho deity falls within, you know, there are 3 roundabouts. Okay, the first one is at the Kojo Bridge area. The second one is somewhere around the military cemetery, right in front of the cemetery. And then the third one is where we have Major Mahama's statue. If you drive through that place from Spintex, as you are descending the new interchange from Spintex, that comes down towards either the Air Force or to Chado, you will see this vast stretch of land whilst you are descending the interchange. This vast stretch of land looks like a forest. And you see that from the Air Force base, the military have actually fenced the place. A very long wall. If you look at it, you may think you are in China. The Beijing Wall. All the way to the military cemetery. And if you should picture it, it looks like something that can be between 300 to 400 acres of land. Not a small piece. We have also sent that clear message to the military that no development should go on until a final or an amicable solution to this issue has been done. And so that is where we are today. And we are hoping and believing that governments will actually call the military to order and then implement the decisions. If that is not done, then I'm sure the military would also not be able to work there. As simple as that.
Is that a threat?
It is not a threat.
Are you ready to go arms against weaponized institutions?
It's only a promise, not a threat. We are civilians. We are not armed. But we are saying, in fact, last Tuesday, our priestesses and priests invoked the 99 deities of La to fight on our behalf. Whatever they think that means, when they get on the land to try to develop, I am sure they will face it. We are not coming in arms.
Now, the Tema motorway, against all intended purposes, has become a death trap endangering the lives of users. From unapproved routes connected to the motorway to indiscriminate construction along the banks, the incessant attitude of tractor drivers, the Tema motorway has lost its original intent and purpose. In the following report, Blessed Lomaso gives an account of the danger and threat to lives that the motorway is posing.
Since its construction in 1965 by the Nkrumah government, the Tema motorway has gradually lost its intent and purpose due to human activities and the reluctance of successive governments to embark on major rehabilitation projects to improve the 19-kilometer stretch. Both sides of the road are replete with unauthorized settlement and slums, including the siting of companies who have flouted laid-down principles regulating the use of the motorway. The slums, consisting of kiosks and metal containers, are concentrated in the area from the Community 18 escape route to the toll booth at the Accra end of the road. A site riddled with gaping potholes, another major problem that also exists on the motorway is that of poor illumination. The many malfunctioning street lights on the stretch poses lots of challenges to motorists. Drivers also stop on the shoulders of the road to pick passengers, and despite this causing fatal accidents in recent times, this life-threatening activity continues. Unapproved U-turns and escape routes have also characterized the stretch. One of such is that which connects to Klagon, a suburb of Tema. Motorists are captured plying that illegal route with careless abandon. Ruben, a taxi driver, states his reason for taking that risk.
Traffic me back Klagon high and I say me banda bridge entina like me kwa fa shama adi traffic musa entina ema me fa ahanum se the man enna me ka say traffic nintia enti ende me sorry ende aba wie enti next time me fa bio
Kwame, another driver, also justifies his actions by stating that government ought to construct an off-lane to Klagon, as done for those who reside in Community 18.
Yes, it is illegal, but they can make it legal for us. The way they did it for Community 18 people, they did a bypass for them. So on the motorway now, if you are from the Accra, they have a bypass that you bypass and fall out. So they should do the same thing for Ashama and Klagon. So they should create also a bypass for us. From the motorway, you can also get a bypass and then enter into Klagon and Ashama. Necessity is the mother of invention. When human needs something and he need it dearly, no matter what you do, if you broke, you will open. Let me give you an example. Have you seen hawkers along the streets? When he goes home and is hungry and doesn't get anything to eat, he will take apple and come to the roadside and sell, because the government does not feed him, and he cannot sit in a house and go and steal. So you come to the roadside. You see? So though it's not approved, but it's necessity, we also need it. So the government should come to our aid and create a bypass for us.
Asked if he knew the legal consequences of his actions when caught, this is what he had to say.
Oh, you see, in everything there is the 10 commandments say that we have 11 commandments. The 11th one says, "Thou shalt not be caught." Disobey all the commandments, but obey only the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not be caught. So when they don't catch you, you go scot-free. When they catch you, you face the law.
The big question begging for answer is whether government and other appropriate agencies will continue to sit and watch whilst lives are lost on the motorway. Should the motorway be turned into a highway since it has lost its original status as a motorway? Bless Alomaso reporting for Pan-African Television News.
Still on deplorable road networks, the road stretching from Tema Oil Refinery to Kpong community serves as a link road to several industries in that enclave. However, the stretch has been in deplorable state for more decades, with several broken promises by successive governments to have the road constructed. In the following report, Joylene Delaye takes a look at the economic effect on that stretch. The Tema Oil Refinery, which is Ghana's only refinery, was established in 1963 to enhance the country's economy, investment and development program. The refinery, which is situated in Tema, about 24 kilometers east of the capital Accra, for several years now has been in distress with accompanying deplorable roads. The area referred to as the Tema Industrial Enclave has one of the most deplorable road network in the country. The situation has badly affected business operations. The area is noted to house several oil and gas marketing companies, but the nature of the road, according to these companies, pose serious threat. Drivers who ply the road are livid about the deplorable nature of the road and blamed government for failing promises to have the road fixed.
Oh, I saw bad, I saw young so far difficult. And I can't potholes and quana. Now I'm shock. And here, casting in the say, today be a complaint. Ombashena omunyama kwa isi ani sote kra wa sheka no kra obehu se esonya kra
de mi hu no ne se akwa ne de in fact my problem kakra fine because sometimes over below do kra na aya homiti nsu to kra de na ama sofa no aye bibia ho pa na emse na nsem ho yihu se aban betwa ahomemu se omo ba be kwan no but up to now, no,
according to some traders from the Kpong markets who ply the road, transporting foodstuffs from Tema community to and the communities in Accra has become a burden.
Because I only make one the call Tema committee one codida at the back in 10 years and a company in so a walk quine so they be one so to sing because of rain war hunting. It's me Danikano, Nakano, and accidents. And to say in case I say Nipa eti taxi more bet me ekunu to your problem pa.
It be open car crown yaka because on your castle back pomposi craning into on foul. In Saturday, when you call no about you are boarding because I can say a quaning.
In Sane crap on an imim bar, lolly a tie, Benny in your bullet, and lolly a tie. Agbon odomoja lole ba ambo ke ni bi e won chedan ni ba seshin atra driver conclo ye tama ni ba wo egbe no e wo gbe lehin.
George Nyanu is the national chairman for the Tanker Drivers Association.
I feel bebre ni I coin na say titri every toll traffic light e ko dru boom e asifin pa na license office free toll eco license office eka ho na last year and vice president ebe kati sword ewo license office die no so ombe ye concrete ampa se uko ho a hu se omuguso eye na so omunya wieye ba titri be biaye fa ye fan no depots no wo no aye Tamale Refinery, Fuel Trade, Chase, Quantum, Encroachment, Eco APD Accra Place no nyame se nka no kure na asifim ubeka se sebi ahafo de omunka Ghana fo ye de ye how ekoto omampanyin His Excellency Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo Addo enim Yedikotu Nenimno, that was 2017. In 10 and offer Honorable Minister for Road and Highways. Ya papa Amwako Ata. Minister Maboni Biya, Honorable Amwako Ata. Okanhubi, Donado office, Jubilee House. And I'll catch and say, Asema ye kind of watiana. It Obomodia say, a choir I first so no. I found when your son of Frank feed the Wacom Yamiano. Obomodia no ye my. And they offer me, and the whole coin I can was him. We tore her a book boom, but they are all the depots. And we are son of a petrol. Echo Miamia the whole Ganano would be able to say a say and a fatana.
They are therefore calling on the government to fulfill its promises and fix the Tema oil refinery roads. Residents of Abokobi and its environs in the Ga East Municipal Assembly are threatening a massive showdown with authorities if the Ga East Municipal Assembly fails to complete construction of the Agbogba-Abokobi Road. According to residents, the bad nature of the road poses serious health threat, and plea to get authorities to complete construction had fallen on deaf ears.
Agbogba and connect Abokobi to other parts of Ga East, including the Pantan Psychiatry Hospital. The stretch has been in a deplorable state for several years, which, according to residents, has affected socio-economic activities in the area. The road, according to residents, has become a political ballgame used to deceive residents to vote for government, but abandoned after elections.
I've been here for almost 15 years now. There is nothing happening. But about 2 years ago, that they started to clear the road, and last year, that they came and then started working on the gutters, and in fact that has been the issue. Yes, we've I'll say about 2 weeks ago we've been to the DC's office to present a petition to her, and she has assured us that something will be done. So we are only waiting to see what will be done, and that is.
Residents say before the election period, construction of drains started at a fast pace but was abandoned after the elections, making commuting almost impossible anytime it rained.
So calling to ya, who's women say, Ubenya be Bigakra, say 3 weeks now, Koto Bojentino. So, Ugas will be a rehearsal, but do 1 month in Makotoana. I just say, is a benefit no.
Of most concern and worry to residents is the dusty nature of the road, which they say has become a nuisance and unbearable.
Enti unyama nyina workshop mu nyina de bia ye fi ye pipa hu de bia be ba bia pipa no pa na enwumre enti saban ti a ye stress omye na ni na ombe ye ma han ye fe eya ye ti because futo ne koye huni mu koye asumu nyina enti eya de bia na hu se ye bo wa de bia na ye huni mu nyina ye we basa enti aban mu wa ye so to a han nyina ye pasa ba chaka.
What we are experiencing now is too much dust. If you are in the room, too much dust. Wherever you are, too much dust. So, and you know, when there is too much dust, where we might be ill, it brings a lot of problems in terms of health conditions. And so that is our problem over here.
Those who use the road, the bad nature of the road is affecting business and are blaming the Ga East Municipal for using the road for political gain.
7 years now, yeah. Yes. It's been for a long time.
Those are some residents of Abokobi pleading on authorities to get their roads constructed. Now let's move to Tamale. Residents and traders in the Tamale municipality and its environs are worried about the slow pace of work of the Tamale Interchange. The resultant traffic, according to them, is affecting socio-economic activities and have called on contractor to speed up work. Our Northern Regional Correspondent Majid has more.
It's difficult for us.
The Tamale Interchange stretches about 1 kilometer long, linking the road leading from Tema Palace through to Point 7 Road, the Central Taxi Rank and Central Market intersection to the Sakasaka Road. The works completed so far involves the first phase of the project. The second phase of the project includes the construction of box girders and decks. The final part of phase 2 will include construction of 10 kilometers of roads within the central business district of the Tamale metropolis. The interchange is being constructed by the government of Ghana and it is part of the $2 billion facility from the Sino-Hydro Master Project Support Agreement. The project is expected to be completed by July 2021. However, residents have expressed worry about the slow pace of work and its accompanying traffic.
Since they started the interchange, it has affected our business a lot. Like at first, the way we used to sell, now we don't sell like that. And people cannot even stop, neither to talk of, to buy. And when they started, we thought it was something that will move fast. There's no space. And the road that's the bicycle lane they use. We were expecting them to move faster than that. Like what they are doing, we were expecting them to move faster than that. We want to beg either the government or the district assembly, they should put some measures in place so that there will be space in town so that people can move freely and then we too can do our business.
Residents say the situation is affecting socio-economic activities.
In fact, to be sincere, town is boring. You can't drive the way you want. Even because of the interchange, many people don't want to come to market. Because if you come, there will be a go-slow. Sometimes you can be in the go-slow more than 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes. So, in fact, our business is going down. Though, the way they talk, or we were expecting, it's not going fast like that because they were saying they will do it fast, but we are not seeing any fast on the work. In fact, they have to help us because they gave us, is it 3 years or so, but now it's getting to 4 years. So we are not seeing any improvement on the work. So they have to, Northern opinions have to come and help us for this particular work.
Residents of Tamale and traders alike want the contractor to do better and complete the project on schedule.
Actually, when they came, we people were arguing of some things there. So one day went and asked the workers there, and they told us that it's 3.5 year contract, and the traffic in town is too much on us. So at times you pick passengers before you get to town. The fuel that you have consumed a lot of fuel. So by the end of the day, maybe you consume fuel like 50 to 60 cedis. So and it doesn't favor us. So like if they could speed up so that they can finish up the road and also get enough spaces to move fast, or there will be no traffic in town, so we could be happy. So when they came, we were thinking that the project will go fast. But now, as they're talking of 3.5 year contract.
Tragedy is looming at the overhead that links Tema Community 1 to Ashiaman. The overhead has developed gaping cracks, posing serious danger to drivers and pedestrians.
Overhead also serve as footbridge for the people in the community and its environs. Its metal railings had become rusted and weak, with the iron rods used in constructing the bridge becoming exposed. When Pan-African Television visited the site, we observed a serious structural defect of the overpass. It was noticed However, that not only has the overhead developed serious cracks, and there are also gaping holes on the concrete, with the rusty nuts begging to be replaced. These developed wide cracks are putting the lives of hundreds of people who use it daily in danger.
As the rainy season approaches, residents of Panama, a suburb of Kokomleme, are raising red flags to government as a matter of urgency repair the broken drain constructed to prevent flooding in the area. Residents say they live in daily fear anytime it rains, since the drain was badly damaged after 2015 June 3rd rain disaster.
And completed in 1998 by the Jerry John Rawlings administration, this drain, which stretches from Silver Star in the airport area and connects to the Odo River, was constructed to deal with the havoc of perennial floods. For the people of Panama, a suburb of Kokomlemle in the Greater Accra region, the drain does not seem to serve any meaningful purpose after the 2015 June 3rd flood disaster that devastated Accra. Huge portions of the drain were broken after the floods, and all attempts to get appropriate authorities to have the drain repaired had not yielded any results. Several government officials, according to the residents, turned the community into a tourist site to inspect the drain amidst promises to have it repaired. But nearly 6 years after the floods, the drain is still not repaired. This has created serious concerns for residents as lives and properties are under threat anytime it rains.
Yes, sir. What bisasa asemwe sensu to a ebufa so na won say school so wa hase nkwadan so nam ha wa utime hwe hase nyina abubu atomu won from since 2016 inso no to a ebufa so sa efa nkrofo niema but yenwu obiara at least ofan plans anasa aban anasa bibisa na uhwe nso nkrofo dampa na mo dampo bola edigumu won aban so akase sa niema we nso no enye. But ube sorry anopa na nkofa ba be dampo bala agumu nim baby omufri enti wana na assemble na adwuma size so mo hwe se man nkrofo be dampo bala engumu na secondary nso got ayibu ye ache omampanyin so ti ha ye a won na ha se nso koda na mo ha se eko school enti yentwe se koda bi mbeto mu no wu ana se bibi bensi ansa na ebeba be kase ye ba be ye gota no uti ase school year wa ha say nkoda bebre wo hono won de bia nkoda na mo anti so timi to ama ni yiri ha say nyina tese unya kwan obefa akọ ofie won anti ye nim de minim ukapa yes is in the pipeline government but it's in the pipeline from 2016 embassy in there.
Residents say they sometimes have to evacuate their homes when it rains, and despite the fact that they vote, they have been ignored as though they are not part of the country. Sueba recounts she even has to seek refuge on top of a roof as a result.
In locating adere ye fare ruwa na tikade na ngaduka na shiga hadda kuna muduka da mu da yara muduka na daga mu zo na kan zingili esa mu na duba ko da muka vote ma government ya zo etanye mu kuma tuna muka vote har yau ba mu gan wani ya zo nan.
Rainwater has eroded huge portions of the road beside the drain, thus rendering it unmotorable. The footbridge, which connects both sides of the drain and is used by passers, also sports significant damages, with some metal rods visibly exposed, thus making it a recipe for disaster for users. The drain is engulfed with plastic waste and fecal matter, but according to Ramatu, a resident of the community, the waste is transported from other neighborhoods into the channel, thereby blocking the flow of water and causing serious flood.
It is, but not all the rubbish here are from here. Some are from somewhere we don't even know. When it rains, it just gathers the rubbish and then just leave it here. So it's part, but I don't know.
Residents are calling on the appropriate agencies, including the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, to move in and offer solutions ahead of the rains.
Because she had than you. It's what I intimate na than near Pierre. Because you had the initial window near Musan and so it's me. And yes, I'm getting to if you want to war. It's what I want to me. Because you are too about to pay 2 years in a not more for the share and ya a good first a cotocuum and that it's added to 2 I say. ɛna nso to eyiri fa ase so yɛ to aba ma government nti e pa aba cho 2017 enye easy chef ade ani pa ye na ebua to gotem enye skakitwa nti e pa aba cho yɛ to aba ma no se ye ho chiri ye no ombra be bua ye.
Bless Alomasos report for Pan-African Television News.
Residents of Aoshi Elang in the Anyaswo constituency have expressed worry about the absence of drains in the community. According to the resident, the situation has become a death trap anytime it rains, but several attempts to get appropriate authorities to fix the drain has fallen on deaf ears.
This bridge links Elang to Aoshi. Works on the structure began in 2020 with the expectations that it will, on completion, prevent flooding in the area and other surrounding communities. However, the bridge was completed without accompanying drains to take in flood water, resulting in serious flooding anytime it rains. According to residents, the situation is posing serious threat to lives and properties.
Boji wachai won pofai wo pofai ninu kwa febu wo hin okono since Beni Kufuoba Bono wa voto wa NPP be NDC yeko ye be dan wa voto wa ha budane akenoni watch issue oba fe awo bi ane kuma wo gbe won ta o gata ko mepo ke ko ta ye bi ene wo bi e kenyon bone wonye mi gota anye ba je mi awo fine o fe bridge ho awo fine won sumo won dabo shi she mon ka wonye she pon fe poto besa no wo kutuka konklu ko segbe inu ya ikwe no chaki wo won po fai no wa fi yawo wo hie no because bopo no wo hie ka ni ndc yo amekwe wo eja ke wo vote wo ha ba ameke BNPP yo e wo ka ba bi epo ndc bi ame ba bi epo wo won po fai bo wo to inu fi yawo.
For school authorities at St. Lutroth, the situation is very troubling, especially during the rains, putting the lives of school children at risk.
Oh, okay, thank you. The preparations we have made towards the rainy season, like you just said, we are fast approaching the rainy seasons. And the thing is that should it rain very hard, within an hour or two, the place becomes quite okay for passage. So we have these boards, very thick ones, which we put right from the entrance of the school to where the bridge is, very thick and quite big. So with the help of the teacher, should it rain very hard, we have to wait, let's say, for an hour or two. And during that duration, the place becomes quite okay. So we put these thick boards there, and then the teachers here will have to convey the children in small numbers from here to where the bridges so that they can find their way home.
Residents said they fear for their lives with the rain setting in and are blaming the central municipality for neglect.
Obama be got anandi abuwa yen. Me kan da me best 4 years me slate me papa no. Me kotina da no so. Nti se ye got bia wuti ha. Senso no unity a wonni ahoto. Jinsu ni tuko. Ansa no ho to nukure de ba kope. School mu hanyina nso ko onso bridge na wo maye no anka se ye bi wo ho se ho no tise ha aha pepepe na nso no eto na yira na paya fa ho nti ya ye wa na fo hanyina nso yiri ye sa gota ne ya nye sa bridge ne dia ye nupi bi unni ahoto wo ha minka da o unni ahoto ebra wo mu ye bridge yi kra no ye fa woni pati e won so no didn't know we ye. Nyesu na yi nso yiri na nkaso o. Ti yesre. Abawo yamabo na sabridge no hwe no yema yen.
Me facho ahomboa de enya ahomboa ya amfa gwata na eda ha no ho. Enti ne yesra aban so ba be bibi afa gwata no ho ayeden. Amayen because nsuo no etokese won se ha na joint na etu. Nsuo no to a etumi yiri aba dem oba da kora mpo ebia na wetu kwan. Na uni ho mi se me tu kwan pa de bia me wa kwantu bia na me ba ye den wada na nsuo na yiri betumi aha akwala no wona magutie bu so kuretu mi yiri na ne ma na da na ye den egu nsuo no mti esra aba se de waya ala jodie no esra ne so ntum meye ya hansu bibi kakra nye den emayen.
From Elang, Akwe Marion's report for Pan-African Television.
Some traders at the Mokola market in Accra have staged a strong opposition to the introduction of the Bola tax announced by government to help deal with the situation of worsening waste management crisis in the country. According to the market women, they are already taxed by waste collection companies and levied by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly daily and see the Bola tax as being overtaxed.
Nearly 900,000 metric tons of solid waste per year, approximately 67% of which is organic matter, creating a scene of landfill sites in many parts of Accra. In light of this, the government has introduced a sanitation and pollution levy called Bola tax of 10 pesos. This new rate is expected to be charged on the price per litre of fuel under the Energy Sector Levies Act to help tackle growing concerns over bad waste management in the country. Traders at the Mokola market have expressed deep concern and disapproval to the introduction of the sanitation and pollution levy. They contend that the new levy is unjustified and a rip-off by government in light of the fact that they pay dues and other fees to waste collectors for the same purpose in the market. According to them, they are not ready to pay extra levy for sanitation when they are yet to see the full benefit of what they are already paying for.
Yeka lances, yeka tickets. Edema or mine. Zumula and François Baba ye Bajuma San on Peso Muyibia. Na yeti TV ni radio say, or my penny or better national Nakufuado say. Ejodifoni na amuano, yentua 1 cedi. Yet tier free a taxi. Messi your mind about me bisana na do ni MPP aban say. Say 1 cedi no better no. Ejodifoma no take it na yet tieno. Eno na na tier free says ikenu dia bola asana na. Any silence na yetua na. Say nya ne sadia ene na no. Omomodia no pesike bi o de be sadia no say yesika sha.
Wonya wo pay bola tax. Ejake wo pure ticket. Acha wa license. In contact ba mi. On machine. Ni wo laka shi de ticket na chi wo bola. Ni wa cha wo ticket e. Si na chi wo bola be wo baba do ebu abiye. Ka wo ya se wo bo biye da ni wo ya. Zula mu ka ogbona ka be obe ba lo. Ola ni wo ka gbiri wo nya wo be ba be. Be wo baba wo bola do ti la ka no. Tani ka wo be mo ni ba lo wo pure le. Bọ́ọ̀nù ìṣì wọ́n tó mọ́tẹ́ ní wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ níbo wọ́n bá bá ní bọ́ọ̀nù àjọyọ̀ ní wọ́n lò wọ́n sọ pay tax èkó ẹ̀ mí ni èwọ̀ blame pay tax.
They also stated that they do not have a waste container to dispose of their refuse and pay a daily contribution of 1 cedi to the Zoom Lion company.
Yabasra na amampeni say yafana chow sakasu wotete sika free yesika yedidi jom e de church abola car me did say ya martin ebe hayen masran bebre asanka no na obetia free yayi sika kakle ni muni de enka masran say amo for floor na fanye eno ema efisa bola no enya da bia na Zoom Lion for no besesa ewo eha no onupai. Sometimes bola wala ka sani mami afi fale aka elaiba ka wo be wo buana ni asani Zoom Lion abalo ni one maje no down one watch your ticket ni wo pure tax income tax lampo license wala ka ne keni bi na efe ajo ye bola mi ni bia ne ka wo be de ke meni tell you kaya bola be no ba ba ohwe ka mi ba lo na mi na ni jo afi ohwe shipe ba abika me no eba shweshi because ami alo mokoma no ya eko ona nika me benwe ami lo asana ami lo no kaya shekule baka ke eyin ade ka we lo wo ke lu ebe jeli cho ke mo tele kaya bola be ba chi shweshi ke fe de ke ame baba mi ke ni ebremo brewo me ni wo ho ni si je wo fio ona na gbele won pa government e fight say de ke pa agbe no la ka wa ba je wo pie le wo male wonye ja ke wala ke shika ji bibia na yo e wode aji obola shika ye mi wono ko meto le ke pa e ka ma fa wonye wo pe.
The traders Like many other Ghanaians, are not convinced by the government's decision to impose the Bola tax on what they described as already dire socio-economic conditions. They have therefore kicked against the levy and called on government to rescind its decision. From Makola Market, this is Joylinda Laye and Anastasia Hayford Arthur's report for Pan-African Television News.
You're still watching Pan-African News on Pan-African Television. Up next is the business news. Minister of Finance nominee Ken Ofori-Atta has urged players in the petroleum sector to join hands in order to address the challenges there. Speaking at the KPMG post-budget forum, Mr. Ofori-Atta stressed the need to collaborate with entities like oil marketing companies to manage issues like leakages in petroleum distribution. He said there is a need to work with potential partners to fast-track the achievement of this purpose.
We look at leakages in the petroleum sector. How do we work with the OMCs so that they see themselves as also protectors of the public purse? We have a tax with the financial services industry that is also suggesting that associations should be a lot stronger in the way in which members misbehave or do not behave, and see how that will be supportive of the industry. The industry, as you know, over the past 3-4 years has done much better than it was, and we should look at their support. We looked at the issue of petroleum and their sanitation, which is important, and the Delta Fund for Energy, so everybody is contributing to that.
Now let's take a look at the interbank CD performance against some of the major currencies. Now dollar is buying at 5.724 and selling at 5.730. Pounds is buying at 7.972 and selling at 7.981. Euro is buying at 6.823 and selling at 6.830. Naira is buying at 70.615 and selling at 71.216. CFA is buying at 69.027 and selling at 96.130. That's how we wrap up on our business news. Up next is international news from our international partners, People's Dispatch. Tanzania's President John Magufuli has died at a hospital in Dar es Salaam. The country's vice president announced in a televised address on Wednesday. He was 61.
President John Magufuli died of a heart ailment that he has battled for over 10 years, Samia Suluhu Hassan said. She added that the president had been receiving treatment at Mzina Hospital since Sunday and announced 14 days of national mourning. Hassan is now the acting president of Tanzania. While a date for her swearing-in has not yet been announced, she will be Tanzania's first female president. Magufuli, who usually made weekly public appearances at Sunday church services, had not been seen since February 27, fueling speculation that he was ill and was being treated abroad. As news of the president's death emerged, opposition leader Zito Kabwe offered his condolences to Magufuli's family. This is an unprecedented moment for our United Republic of Tanzania, and one that will undoubtedly move us all in very personal ways, the leader of the ACT Wazalendo party said in a statement. My immediate thoughts are with Mama Janet and the whole family of our deceased president. He also offered blessings, courage and patience for Hassan. My fellow Tanzanians, let us continue to pray for patience and understanding. This is a moment to show our maturity and integrity as a nation, Kabri added. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson was one of the first world leaders to express their sympathy at the death of Magufuli. My thoughts are with his loved ones and the people of Tanzania, he wrote in a post on Twitter. Tanzanian President John Magufuli attended the inauguration of incumbent South African President Cyril Ramaphosa on May 25, 2019. Known as the bulldozer for his thought stance against corruption and for his hardline policies, Magufuli swept to victory in October 2015 as Tanzania's fifth president. But excitement over Magufuli's intolerance for corruption was short-lived as he began a clampdown on democracy and critical voices. Magufuli oversaw closures and suspensions of numerous media outlets, while his government undermined judicial and parliamentary independence, implemented a partial ban on public rallies, harassed MPs, closed online political space, and persecuted critics under defamation and sedition laws. Early on in the pandemic, Magufuli dismissed the seriousness of coronavirus in Tanzania, urging his citizens to pray coronavirus away, believing the satanic virus can't live in the body of Jesus Christ, and blaming the growing number of positive cases on faulty test kits. In June, he claimed his country had eradicated coronavirus by the grace of God, questioned the safety of foreign COVID-19 vaccines, and made no plan to procure any shots for his country, instead pushing for the use of herbal medicine and steam treatment. Tanzania hasn't reported COVID-19 figures since April 2020, prompting the World Health Organization to call for Tanzania to publish data on the coronavirus and ramp up public health measures. Last month, the U.S. Embassy in Dar es Salaam warned that COVID-19 cases has been surging since January.
Up next is the sports news.
It's incredible! Bang on target!
The Ghana Football Association has announced an international friendly between Ghana and Uzbekistan to be played in the latter capital, Tashkent, on March 25th, 2021.
The Ghana Football Association has decided to honor the match with a chunk of the home-based players who've been preparing in Accra for the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, as it intends to utilize fully the opportunity in the match FIFA window with this useful exercise. The team will also use the match as a dress rehearsal for the 2021 Wafu Cup of Nations in Nigeria and the upcoming African Nations Championship qualifiers. As a result, coach of the home-based Black Stars, Ibrahim Anyas Tanko, has named the 20-man squad for the trial match. Samuel Ashikwe, Precious Boa, and Daniel Efriye Bania of the victorious Black Satellites team have been drafted in. Accra Hearts of Oaks goalie Richard Atta has also earned a call-up.
Up next is the entertainment news. As part of effort to celebrate Ghanaian folk tales in the month of independence, our entertainment desk has been furnishing viewers with valuable information on series of traditional dances. Today, our focus is on Fume Fume, a dance for the people of the Gadangbe.
Fume is a social dance that originates from Gadangbe in Ghana. This dance is characterized by jumps and kicks, which have been adapted from traditional religious and recreational dances such as Otu, Tigari, Amedzlo, and Agbanigba. The dancers often perform the steps while moving in a circle, either to the beat of a drum or to specific Fume Fume songs. The dancers are accompanied by bells and drums. This dance is traditionally performed by men and women, and the dancers wear raffia skirts. Fume Fume was created by Gadangbe people in the late 1970s in the Greater Accra region of Ghana. Males and females of diverse ages, mostly of Ghanaian descent, take part in Fume Fume. The renowned master drummer Mustafa Tete Ade, after leaving university in 1965, spent many years traveling and researching traditional music in Ghana and the Ivory Coast. Fume Fume was one of the fruits of this research. It is based on the fetish dance of Ivory Coast.
Well, let's take you back to the northern region. Our focus is going to be on the dance Bamaya, a dance for the people of the Dagbon in the northern region.
The northern region has a lot to offer in terms of tourism. Apart from the region's vast array of attractions, the region can jealously boast of many traditional dances, including Bamaya. Bamaya is one of the popular and most commonly performed dance during public events and functions in the northern region. Bamaya is a Dagbani word which literally means the river or valley is wet. This dance is mostly done by men who are dressed in feminine outfits. The dance ensemble comprises a lead dancer, other dancers and drummers who also double as chorus singers and sing along with the dancers. The movements in the dance are very symbolic in meaning. The dancers move their feet very swiftly and twist their waist many times as they dance around. The movements in the dance are very symbolic in meaning. The dancers move their feet very swiftly and twist their waist many times as they dance round the drummers. The dancers' waist and chains are tied with beads and cymbal bells that make noises as they shake and thump their feet while dancing. Bamaya is performed with a chorus song supported with drums and flutes. The sound of the drums and flutes dictates the dance movement. The leader picks and communicates the movement to the rest of the dancers. Whether to dance slowly or swiftly depends on the rhythm of the drums and flutes. When the dancers are about to leave the stage, each of them displays his own skills. The story behind Bamaya is that the dance was first performed in the early 19th century to mark an end to a protracted drought that hit most parts of the Dagbon state in the northern region. Oral tradition has it that there was a long spell of drought during which many animals and plants died. The chief and his elders, according to tradition, consulted an oracle located in a valley to inquire about what to do to bring rain. The people believed that it was the gods that held the rains from falling. According to them, the oracle instructed the chief and his elders that for the drought to end, the men had to appease the gods of the land by wearing women's apparel. The gods also instructed them to sacrifice some animals in addition to the prescribed dress code. Anytime you visit Dagbon in the northern region, remember to look out for Bamaya, unique dance of Dagbon.
Thank you for your time. A recap of the headline: the traditional council charts a warpath with the military over alleged encroachment of Lastool lands. The council has threatened a face-off with the military if they do not stay off the land. We brought you a special report on the current state of the Tema Motorway. Resident of Panama behind Paloma Hotel raised red flags ahead of the rainy season. In business, Ghana to add value to cocoa production. My name is Maud Anane. Do well to follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram at Pan African Television. Do have a good afternoon and a great weekend.